Great. And then we have also the children had never written, and it's then the same. And then we have they had only seen a few hours more. Very good. So you will have some examples in context with past perfect. So after revising this, I wanted to do some exercises. For example, here we have a past perfect activity. You have to write in a sentence the story that you can see in the picture. Okay, so for example, here we have an action in the past that we can say when the dwarves arrive, what happened to Snow White? The past perfect, you could say. And then here we have a man who was looking for the ice cream, but maybe the child or the grandkids, I don't know, and this happened, okay, in the past. So maybe how can you make a sentence here using the past perfect?
How do you say gnomos, but it's not gnomos?
No, it's dwarves.
Dwarf.
Here.
Dwarf.
Here you have the 7 dwarfs from Snow White. Great. So how can you maybe make the sentence using past perfect and past simple here?
The 7 words. So Snow White very sleep or sleepy?
And she slept. You can say.
Yes, but I'm trying to say they saw Snow White when she was sleeping for a while. They saw, I don't know. Snow White was sleeping for a long time, but they didn't realize that she had eaten a poison apple.
Poison apple.
Apple, sorry. Yes.
I think they knew about. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't remember the movie.
Well, we can say when the dwarves arrived, Snow White had already eaten the apple. Maybe we can say.
Yes.
Good. Fabri, what about letter B?
The man looked at the refrigerator
for the ice cream.
Look for the ice cream in the refrigerator, but his child had already eaten.
Had already eaten it. Okay, you have to very good. Had already eaten it. Remember, you have to use always the option pronoun in that case.
Yes.
Excellent. Had already eaten it. The ice cream. Very good. Now here we have another one. Do you remember this action here?
No. A thief. It's like a thief.
Thief. Yes. Remember from crime and punishment vocabulary we have. This is what we call.
No, I know we saw it, but I don't remember right now because I didn't study because I'm so late. But don't worry. I'm going to handle. I don't know. Let me see.
Burglar?
Burglar.
What?
Very good. Probably very good. Exactly. Burglar. That is a burglar, and the action is to burgle.
Burgle.
And burglary is the crime. Remember?
Burglary is the action. So when he
Maybe we can say that this illustration means that the person didn't lock the door, okay? We can say this is an action that happened before what?
before he entered into the house.
Before
So,
the man burger.
yes.
Burger.
Before
the man burger.
The man burgled the house.
Very
So,
good. Remember, you can use burgle as the verb, and
okay.
the burglar is the noun, and burglary is the crime. Okay. Good.
So I don't know. The door hadn't been unlocked before the burglar gets into the house.
Before the burglar enters to the house. Very good.
Okay.
Excellent.
Right.
Perfect. Very good. So she had forgotten to lock the door, and then her house had.
That picture means that the girl had forgotten to lock the door.
No, it was okay. The door had not been locked. It's the same to me.
Okay.
It's okay. It's perfect. Excellent. And her house was burgled. Very good. Excellent. Now you can see, Fabi, here that we have the same girl here. Yesterday with her boyfriend, we can say the past. She was watching a movie, but she had seen the same movie with a friend last week. So what can we say? What can she say to her boyfriend? Okay. What can she say to her boyfriend about the movie? Last week, what happened?
Last week, she had seen the new movie.
Very good. She had already seen the movie. Very good. Excellent. Perfect. Last week. So when she was watching this movie, she told her boyfriend that she had already seen this movie last week with a friend. Okay? Very good. Remember, this is the use, okay? I use some illustrations so you can see how we use it. Okay? Remember, it is the sequence, okay? This is what happened first, that is in past perfect, and this is what happened before, in the past, after. So what happened after in the past. Good. And now, yes, we can talk about reported speech. We have reported speech is when we tell someone what another person said. We use a reporting verb. We can use, for example, the most common one, in case that is a sentence, an affirmative sentence, but because it is a question, we have to make an indirect question. We are not going to say or tell. But, for example, reporting verbs, we have a lot of reporting verbs, but the most common ones are say or tell. For example, we have a direct speech, okay? For example, I like ice cream. A woman says she likes ice cream. So, we put she says, and then the sentence. Referring to the woman, so we have to make the necessary changes. Okay, she likes. This is a reference in the. You can use the present simple, but it's okay to use the past simple as well. And of course, you have to make the necessary changes of the subject pronoun he, maybe my. You have to change her or he, right? Great. But if the reinforcing verb is in the past tense, then we usually change the sentence in the reinforcing speech. Or for example, I like ice cream, she says she likes ice cream. For general facts, we can use either the present or the past simple, okay? You don't need to change the present tense to the past tense, therefore it's true. Great. So here we have, depending on the time tense or the direct speech tense, changes that you have to make when you report. For example, in present simple you have I like ice cream. The reinforcing speech will say she says blah blah. Remember, if you are going to say, to use the verb tell, in that case you have to put the object pronoun, for example. And she told me, okay? That you can omit that, it's not necessary, okay? That's relative, so it doesn't matter. You don't have to use it, I mean, you can use it either way, it's okay. She said that she likes ice cream, or she said she likes ice cream. Remember, we don't use the object pronoun with the verb said. We don't say she said, okay? In any case, you can say she said me, okay? But not the object after said. Tell, yes, you use the object pronoun always after the verb said.
But Miss, for example, if I say, she told me she liked or she liked, in that case, when I use
in that
told.
case, it's more common to use the past.
Okay.
You can use either present or past when it's a general truth.
Okay.
Example,
But it's a general truth.
Yes, a preference is a general truth. Yes, you can either use
Okay.
present or past. Then we have present continuous. There is a quick trick in this. I give you a hint. When you have the direct speech in present or past, you need to go a step back in time, a little bit back in time, using even another past that is more fast than the time tense in the direct speech. You could say, for example, present continuous, you change it to past continuous. Past simple, you change it to past perfect. Past continuous, you change it to past perfect continuous. Present perfect, you change it to past perfect. Past perfect, there is nothing as before past perfect, you use past perfect. Will, the past would. Would stays the same, and the past is could. Okay?
Okay.
So that is a good trick. Okay? Could doesn't change because there is nothing that you can use before could. Shall, you use would. Should, you use should. Might, you use might. And must, you use must.
Okay.
Because must, the modal verb don't change. And as you can see here, these modal verbs should, might, and must don't change. But the other case, yes, you have to make go one step back in time. Okay, if it's present simple, past simple. If it's past simple, past perfect. If it's past continuous, past perfect continuous. If it's present perfect, past perfect, and so on. Okay?
Okay.
Is it clear? I think it's the easiest way to memorize them. How to report the speech, because if you have to remember present simple, past simple, and so on, it's easier this way. So, for example, I am living in London. Says was living in London, right? Present well the past simple, but I prefer past perfect. It's better in this case. Then we have past continuous, past perfect continuous. I was walking along the street. She said she had been walking along the street. Why do we use this? Because you are reporting something that had already happened. Okay, so it's even a step back in the past, right? That's why we use that. I have present perfect. I haven't seen Julie. She said she hadn't seen Julie. I had taken English lessons before. Okay, in this case, as well, past perfect, you cannot change it. And you can see here after when it doesn't change, right? Past perfect, could, should, could, might. They don't change. I had taken English class lessons 4. She said she had taken English lessons before. Will, I'll see you later. She said she will see you later. I will help, but she said she will help, but I can speak perfect English. She said she will speak perfect English. I swim before when I was 4. Okay, be careful with this. So when you have 2 sentences, you have to report both sentences. So for example, I could swim when I was 4. You can say she could swim when she was 4 or when she had been 4. Okay, you have to report both sentences when you have 2 different verbs. Because in the example, you only have 1 verb, like, live, buy, walk, see, say. But when you have 2 verbs or more, you have to report each verb, each sentence, okay?
But in this case, for example, it's not necessary.
Each report this, I mean.
But no, I mean that
when
she.
Past simple, in the report speech, you can use either past perfect or past simple. Okay?
Yeah.
That's
yes, but before in the direct speech is in past simple. And then in the reported speech is in past simple too.
Exactly, because in the past simple you can use either when you report.
Okay, I get. Okay.
You can use past perfect or past simple, both.
Okay. Yes.
Both are correct. Both are possible. So it's okay. I mean, you can leave it there in past simple. Shall change to would. She said she would come later. Should stays the same. Might stays the same. Must stays the same. I don't know if you want to revise modal verbs next class, or know them well. The difference between have, must, might, should. You have a lot of modal verbs. Ought, will, shall. I don't know.
I choose whatever favorite choose.
Sorry?
I choose whatever favorite choose.
Okay. We can practice modal verbs if you don't know them well, the difference. You have must, should, shall, might, may. Have to is not a modal verb, but people confuse it with must sometimes. Then we have would, will, as well are modal verbs. Then we have in questions. These are all positive sentences. Remember I told you these reportive verbs are for reportive sentences in affirmative, right? She said, in affirmative and in negative. She told me, she said, you can use other types of reporting verbs, but these are some. Then we have the questions. Okay, these are different. You cannot say tell or say. In this case, it's better to use one possible reporting verb is ask. Okay, this is, and because it was a question, the direct speech. For example, where do you live, right? So here we have to make the same changes. Okay, where do you live? Change it to the past simple. In this case, the changes are the same, and we keep the question word. The question word, remember the WH questions are where, when, how, why, which, what, I don't know. You have the WH question. You have to keep the WH word, and now you have to make an indirect question. Okay, it's not a question anymore. It's going to be like a positive sentence. For example, she asked me where I live. Okay, she asked me where I live. Okay, and because you have to keep the WH word and make the change in the past simple. Where Julie, for example, again, you have to make it a sentence. She asked me where Julie was. Okay? Where was Julie is incorrect because that is a question. It's not a direct question. In any case, it's not a question anymore. Remember, we have to make it a sentence. Where Julie was, that is a sentence. Okay? Where was Julie? It's a question. Okay? Be careful with that. Here we have more examples. Where is the post office? She asked me where the post office was. What are you doing? She asked me what I was doing. Who was the fantastic man? She asked me who that fantastic man had been. In this case, remember, you can use either past perfect or past simple. Why is he shouting? He asked me why he was shouting. Okay?
Yes.
Any questions? Remember, you have to use the WH word. In this case, you have where, what, who, and why, and then in a sentence because it's a direct question. Okay? Who that fantastic man had been, what I was doing, where the post office was, why he was shouting. Any questions about this, or are we okay?
We are okay.
Great. Excellent. So now we can continue with the reported yes or no questions. You have the WH questions. These are questions that ask for more information. Then you have the questions that you answer with yes or no, right? You don't have the WH word in that case. You have the auxiliary, the subject, and the verb. For example, would you like, have you ever been to Mexico? These are all questions that you answer with yes, I have, yes, I do, no, I don't, no, I haven't, yes, I am, no, I'm not, right? And in this case, when we have these questions, we don't use a WH word in the middle to connect with the reporting verb that is being asked because it's a question. We use the word is. Okay? She asked me if I like chocolate. She asked me if I love you. Again, you have to make a direct question, right? And it's really positive when you report it. And of course, you have to make the necessary changes. If it's present simple, you have to make it past. And if it's present perfect, for example, here you have to make it into the past perfect. Have you ever been to Mexico? He asked me if I have ever been to Mexico. Are you living here? She asked me if I was living here. Any questions about this?
No, miss.
Good. Now, what happens with questions that are maybe more polite way or are imperative? Okay, imperative is the orders or advice or instructions that we give that we don't use the subject. Open the book, sit down, don't smoke. Let's start the class. I don't know, turn on your computer. Okay, these are imperatives. The subject we use the infinitive or in any case the negative don't and the verb. In this case, for this case, with polite ways to ask or request, we use could or would, modal verbs. And for imperatives, we use ask again, but with two plastic feet. For example, could you close the window, please? You can say, would you mind closing the window, please? Remember when we talked about last class, favors, asking for favors with no different sentences to ask for something, for request, in a polite way.
Yes.
And in this case, you can say, she asked me to close the window, for example. Then we have imperative. Please don't smoke. She asked me. Be careful here, because it's negative. You cannot say do not smoke. Not goes before the here, okay? To make it the negative. She asked me not to smoke. Okay? It happens always here with, for example, we try to, that have to use an infinitive. In this case, you, for example, try not to laugh, for example, or try not to make big mistake with the not, the word not. You have to use this before, okay? Always, in this case, there are some exceptions. Then we have, could you bring my book tonight? She asked me to bring her book that night. Be careful here. We are going to see the expressions, how we have to make changes here, because tonight is not tonight anymore. You use that night, right? Then we use, for example, would you mind coming early tomorrow? She asked me to come early the next day. Of course, we cannot use tomorrow anymore. We use the next day. Sorry, repeating the slide. So, then we have for order, because remember for request we can use the reported speech, but I told you that as well we use it for instructions, for orders, not only request. Okay? With request we use the word please, please, wait here, please, come in, right? These are imperatives that we use with the word please that are requests. But then we have orders, instructions. In that case, we don't use ask, because it's not a request, we use tell. For example, sit down, she told me to sit down. Go to bed, he told the child to go to bed. Don't worry, he told her not to worry. Again, we have not to. Always not to. Don't smoke, he told us not to smoke. Okay? Good?
Yes, miss.
Great, excellent. So now you know how to make the report. Not only with affirmative sentences that is the most common one, but we also have with imperative, with questions as well. Good. So now let's talk about the report expression. So for example, if the sentences say now today, yesterday, what do we do in that day? If it says now, you can use then at that time, okay? If it says today, you can say yesterday, that day, Tuesday. You can say June the 7th, because in this case it's free, the 27th of June. And then we have yesterday. You can say the day before yesterday, the day before. You can say a specific day. Remember, Tuesday, Wednesday, depending if you know when the person said, okay? Or if it's in the same week, she was going to do something that week on Wednesday, so you say, and she was going to do blah 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 on Wednesday.
Okay.
Or a specific day. Again, ABC. Okay, the most common one use the day before. Then we have last night. You can say the night before. Or the specific day, Thursday night. And Thursday evening. I don't know. Last week, the week before, or the previous week. Tomorrow, you can use today, the day after tomorrow, the next day, the following day, or a specific day of the Friday.
Okay.
It's Monday. Julie says, I'm leaving today. For the speech, Julie says she was leaving on Monday. If you are reporting on the same way, because it doesn't make sense. If it's another week, which Monday are you talking about? And then we have, I'm going to France next week. He said he was going to France the following week. Do you have any questions? Because we are going to practice a lot.
No, miss.
Great, excellent. Good, so Cande, the first one is a negative sentence you report is with say or tell, and in the time tense.
In the past perfect, present perfect.
It's the direct speech is in present perfect. So
Yeah, past perfect.
past perfect. So
He said he hadn't eaten breakfast.
very good. He said he hadn't eaten breakfast. Very good. Excellent. Fabri, the next one. I visited my parents at the weekend. He or she. It's okay.
He said he visit he ha,
He had
has visited
he had visited. Very good.
his
Fabri,
parents
excellent.
that weekend.
Very good. That weekend. Very good. So in this case, he had visited. Very good. It's past perfect, and you made the necessary changes as well. His parents at that weekend. Very good. Now, Cande, the next one.
Yes.
They won't be able to arrive early.
They said they wouldn't be able to arrive early that day.
That
or
day,
early.
you can say yes. Very good. You can add that day. It's okay. Perfect. I was sleeping when Julie called yesterday. Here you have two sentences, Fabri. So be careful. You have to report both verbs. Okay? Sleep and call.
Okay. He said he has been sleeping.
He had been. Because it's past continuous, so we change it to past perfect continuous, okay?
Yeah.
He had been sleeping.
When Julie have gone the day before.
The day before, very good. He said that he's sleepy when Julie had called the day before. Perfect, excellent. Okay, he will have a question.
Yes. He or she asked me if I was a doctor.
Perfect, excellent. Okay, another question. How much is the W you have to use the code? How much, okay? You have to use how much?
He asked
The WH question.
how much
And the positive sentence, remember?
yes, how much
The subject of the sentence?
the flat rent.
The rent on my flat, or the flat rent or something. How much the flat rent
Was
very good. Yeah, how much the rent flat was. Okay, very good, excellent. Or how the rent on my flat, how much the rent on my flat was. For example, well, a question for you. Let's say. Okay.
Okay.
Remember, you have how old, how much, how often, how many. Use the two words, because depending on the word that for how the question is different, right? How old means the age. How often means how frequent.
Miss, in this case, I can say he or she asked me how much was the rent on my flat.
No, because that is a question. Remember?
Ah, sorry.
No, don't worry, because
I'm sleepy.
That would be a question.
Yeah.
And then
And I have to say in affirmative.
in affirmative, exactly, or in negative, but you have an indirect question. It's not direct question. Okay?
Yeah.
We have also indirect questions in Spanish, but what happens in English is that you have to make changes when a question. We have to use the auxiliary, then the subject. In Spanish, it's only the intonation. For example, ¿es este tu celular? Este es tu celular. Okay, that would be all. It's just the intonation, right? And that's it. It's the same. It doesn't change the order of the question. Good. No questions at all.
No.
Well, before we continue with the vocabulary, I want to practice here the reporting statement that we can practice here. Great. So you will have reporting statements in present simple. This is very easy, really a piece of cake, I would say. You only have to report present simple, so it's past simple. For example, Barbie, she said
that she lived in New York.
She said she lived in New York. Very good. Or she said that. Very good. Excellent.
She told me he worked in a bank.
He worked in a bank. Very good.
She said Julie didn't like going out too much.
Perfect.
Going out much.
Excellent. Perfect.
She said she didn't have a computer.
Very good.
She said They never arrived on time.
Perfect. They never arrived on time. Excellent.
He told me they often meet friends in London at the weekend. The past of meet is met friends in London at the weekend.
Very good. Excellent. Met.
She said David didn't have any children.
Perfect.
She said she didn't go to the gym very often.
Perfect.
She said Lucy owned 3 flats in the city.
She said she never got up early on Sundays.
Very good. Excellent. Yes, you have to know them. Irregular verbs.
Yeah.
Or past participle. Well, it's easier than present perfect. I mean, the past participle of verb. Well, now let's see. This one is future simple. Very easy. You only have to make one change. The modal verb, right? You have to
Yeah.
And who goes next?
Fabri.
Fabri?
Yes.
She said she could go to the cinema later.
Later that day, yes, you can say later. She would go. Remember the would in the past of will in this case. Very good. She says she will go. Excellent.
She said they will meet the children at 6 that day.
That day, yes, very good.
She said she would be late.
She would be late. Very good.
She said Lucy will definitely come. Definitely come.
Very good.
She told us she would stop smoking on Tuesday.
Very good. On Tuesday. On
She
Tuesday
said
you can say that day, right? Or if it's the same week, you can say Tuesday or last week. I don't know.
she said John wouldn't do it.
She said they couldn't be able to arrive early.
They wouldn't.
They couldn't.
They wouldn't be able to arrive early. Very good.
Okay. She said she wouldn't come with me.
She wouldn't come with me.
Yeah.
Right.
She said he wouldn't remember to buy milk.
Lazy.
Yes, that happens a lot.
She
Do you know the
said
difference between remember to do something and remember doing something?
I know, but just because I don't know.
Because you have remembered to do something.
Yeah, I have to remember. Yeah, and I remember when she told that, for example. Yes, I know. I know the difference, but I don't know how to explain it.
ING, very good. We use remember with ING when we are talking about the experience in the past that you are picturing right now.
Yeah.
Okay. For example, I remember being a child and playing with my friends a lot in the park.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay. In that case, I remember being, or that would be ING. You can use any verb. That would be remember ING. Or you can say, I remember when I was a child. Very good. You can use the clause, what we call the clause, the when, the subject, and the verb in the past. Or you have, when there is a note in your mind, you can say to remember, to do something in the future, like this, or map, to, for example.
Yeah.
But that refers to the future, not the past. Okay?
Yeah.
Any questions about that difference, or remember is with ing or to, but there is a difference right there. Excellent.
So, yes, she said it wouldn't rain later that day. She was sure.
She was sure. Very good. Excellent. She was sure. And because it says the verb to be in the present. Excellent. Any questions about this, or do we have more? Oh my God. Well, this one is easy. Let's see if I miss here. Yes, I miss a lot of. I prefer practicing here the past because I want to see if you remember the irregular verbs.
Okay.
Fabi, number 11.
He said she met her boyfriend at the cinema every Friday night.
Very good.
She said they didn't travel much.
She said John doesn't live in Japan anymore.
Great. John doesn't live or doesn't live.
She told me they worked in Hong Kong.
Hong Kong.
She said she had to work until 7 or 8 p.m. every night.
She said she didn't want to go to the theater the week after.
The week after. Very good.
She said, they like working in Paris.
She says they like working in Paris. Excellent.
She said didn't have enough time to do everything.
She didn't have enough time to do everything.
She told me Tony hated mushrooms.
She said they often went on holidays in July.
On holiday in July. Very good. Excellent. Perfect. Here you have the
answers.
The answers. If you want to do it on your own, and then you can check the answers, okay? Don't worry. Good. So let's see. So here we have sentences past simple. So now you have to change it to
the verb to past participle.
Past perfect. Simple. Very good. Excellent. So I went to cinema yesterday. Who is next?
Fabri.
She said she had gone to the cinema the day before.
The day before. Very good. The day before.
She told me Jane had left the party early. It's the same. Left the party early. Yes.
She said she hadn't gone out at the weekend.
Very good.
Or at that weekend.
Weekend is the British pronunciation. Weekend. And in here you have at the. So at we use it with British English, so it's okay to say at the weekend. But remember, on we use it with that is American English on, and the pronunciation is weekend. The stress syllable is the first one, not the second one. Right? Great.
What is the next? I lost.
You're lost. Number 4.
Number 4. Okay. She said he hadn't liked chocolate as a child.
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 Chocolate as a child.
Child.
Very good. It's okay. Good.
She said they had visited Japan.
Very good.
He told me she hadn't bought the dress.
Excellent. Hadn't bought.
She told me she had traveled through India and Pakistan.
Right.
She said he had met his girlfriend in a cafe.
In a cafe. Great.
She said David hadn't arrived until 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. Good.
She told me they had gone to the park to have a picnic that day.
Had gone to the park to have a picnic. Very good.
Yeah.
She told me they had eaten Chinese food and then they had walked home.
Very good.
He told me she had forgotten to bring the CD.
Perfect. You have forgotten.
I didn't, sorry. She said, She said she hadn't liked the food in the restaurant.
Perfect. Hadn't liked.
She said he hadn't taken a shower.
She hadn't taken a shower.
But I know the verb. That is the important thing.
Yes, the important thing that I want to check is that you remember the past participle of the verb. These ones are really easy.
She said she had worked until 6.
She said they had gone to Paris for the weekend in that week. Or for that weekend.
For the weekend or for that weekend? Very good, excellent.
She said the plane had left at 7.
Had left at 7.
She said she came to London in 2004.
She come
There is a problem. Is come? Or
but you forgot the auxiliary.
Yeah, she said she had come to London in 2004.
Very good, she had come. Excellent.
She told me Lucy hadn't gone to the university.
Very good, excellent.
She said John had never studied German.
Germany is the country.
Very good.
German. Excellent. Very good, guys. Excellent. And now here we have. Let's see. Okay, it's just a few because the one is very
Okay.
public, right?
She told me she was sleeping.
She was sleeping. Very good.
She told me they were working.
She told me she was coming to the party.
Perfect.
She told me he was talking on the telephone.
On the telephone.
She told me Lucy was reading a book in front of the fire.
Very good. Excellent. And it's okay.
Yeah. I really like this.
Yes,
When in that kind of practice, when we practice, like, I like this way of
Okay,
practice.
good. So we can practice the reported speech more. Yes.
No, but just not for the reported speech, the method, you know?
Okay. Good. Excellent.
Yes, can we, is there any of these exercises about questions?
Yes, there is one about questions. Let me. This is present perfect, so you have to make it past perfect, and then we have. Let me check. Let me stop sharing here because I have it. I haven't them. Have them perfect English grammar reported speech, and here we have the exercises. Here we have the exercises if I'm not ready. Otherwise, I can make some mapping, okay? This is me, and this is WH questions, yes or no questions. And reported requests and orders. Good. I have them here. Great. Good. Here we have more of these. Great. Let me download the PDF. Great. You want reported questions and orders instead.
Yeah.
Yes or no questions. We have WH questions, yes or no questions, and orders. Here we have orders. Remember, with orders, what do we use?
With orders.
With orders, the reporting verb.
Told me,
Told
to
me.
an infinitive.
To. Very good. Excellent. Yes, exactly. Very good. Excellent. So let's see. Here we have requests and orders, and request is with a, right?
Yeah.
And as is.
Okay.
Sorry, with two. Two, and that should be with request. Good. So let's see.
Me. There.
Let's see here. There we go. And here we have WH questions, okay? To practice more, change the direct questions into reported questions. So, for example, where is the post office?
Which one is the first?
Number one.
Yes, no, but Fabi or me?
I don't remember who's next.
Who is next, Fabi?
Fabi, I think. Good. So, Fabi, where is the post office?
She asked me where the post office was.
Very good. Why is Julie sad?
She asked me why Julie was sad.
She asked me what what the dinner was.
What, in this case, is what was for dinner.
Okay.
Sorry, because we have the preposition for. Yes.
She asked me who the woman in the red dress was.
Very good.
She asked me how my mother was.
My grandmother was.
Uh,
Very good.
She asked me when the party was.
Very good. Now this one we already used it. This one.
She asked me where the glasses were.
Excellent.
Where?
Where? Excellent.
She asked me how the weather in Chicago was.
Very good.
She asked me who the Prime Minister of Canada was.
She asked me where I usually went to swim.
Very good.
She asked me what look at the weekend does.
In this case, we use the subject and the verb. And the weekend is at the end.
Okay.
She asked me
She asked me what look does at the weekend.
it would be past. Did.
Then
At the weekend.
okay.
She asked me where my parents lived.
Where my parents lived. Very good.
And she asked me who I was it's only
The verb is go. So in the past, the past of go.
she asked me who I went running with.
Who I was running with. Very good. Excellent.
She asked me when Lucy got up.
Very good.
She asked me how much TV I watched.
I watched. Good.
She asked me how many books they owned. Owned.
Remember? we don't-
Owned,
we
I
never
know.
pronounce-
G-O-T-E-D. Yeah. Owned.
Owned.
She asked me where John works.
Work. Excellent.
She asked me what the children studied on Fridays.
And the last one, Fabi?
She asked me why I studied English.
Perfect. Very good. Now here we have with if. Okay.
Yeah. Me.
Yes.
She asked me if Sean was at home.
She asked me if I was there.
Very good.
She asked me if it was cold outside.
It was cold outside.
She asked me if they were in Paris.
In Paris. Good.
She asked me if the bus stop was near the shopping center.
Very good. But she asked me if the bus stop
was near the shopping center.
Excellent.
She asked me if the milk it was fresh.
If the milk was fresh. Do you know the opposite of fresh as an adjective?
No.
Off.
Off.
Is when it's
Look.
expired. When it's expired, soft.
Or sour.
Sorry?
Or sour.
Sour is, for example, oranges or lemon. I don't know. And sour is ácido, we would say in English. Sour. You have bitter and sour.
Bitter. Yes, that was.
Sour and sweet and spicy and okay, and salty. Right? You have the same salty, for example, French fries or I don't know, hamburger pizza. Sweet, for example, chocolate, cake. And then you have spicy, chili, I don't know, and red pepper. I don't know. Then we have sour, that would be, for example, orange, lemon, vinegar. I think. I don't know exactly. When you do like this. Good. Excellent.
She asked me if that one I say. She asked me if I was a doctor.
Very good. Are James and Lucy from France?
She asked me if Jane and Lucy were from France.
Very good.
She asked me if my brother was in the garden.
She asked me if the weather was good in Shanghai in the summer.
Good. I wanted to practice maybe with others. Here we have with verbs because they were always the verbs. Here we have other verbs. Yes. But it's also present simple. But
She asked me if Julie.
The past of
drank.
Drank. And the past participle?
Drunk.
Drunk. Drunk. The same with
drink, drank, drunk. The same for
with swim, sing, okay. Ring as well. They have the same. Ring, run, run. Good.
She asked me if I like chocolate.
Very good, if I like.
She asked me if they owned a flat.
Excellent. Well, I think you are okay. For example...
Means you're freezing.
Eh?
You're freezing.
Sorry.
I know you're back. You was freezing in the spring.
I was frozen. Okay.
Frozen.
Let's see. For example, if I say, if I ask you, have you ever tried spicy food? So, how can you report this sentence?
She told me, she asked me if I had ever tried spicy food.
Very good, if I had ever tried. Excellent.
If I have ever tried. So.
Excellent. If I say, has the field already started when they arrive at the cinema? Okay, so we have a little more difficult here. Maybe Fabri, we have had the film already started when they arrive at the cinema. I asked, so Go.
She asked me if the film had already started when they had arrived at the city.
Very good, excellent, perfect. Well, you already know this, so you were okay. Well, now we can practice reporting requests and orders. Remember, with orders we use, and with request we use to, that's infinitive. But with request we use the reporting verb ask, and orders we use the reporting verb tell. Okay? These are all imperatives, right? Imperatives. Please help me carry this. So this is a request or an order. Can they?
The person, please tell me where it is. She asked me to help her carry this.
Very good, it's a request. Very good. Please come early. This is a request or an order?
Request?
Sorry?
A request?
A request, very good. So we use ask or tell?
They ask.
Ask, very good. You can continue.
She asked me to
She asked me
to came here.
To come. Okay, after to we use the infinitive, okay? She asked me to come early. Please buy some milk.
She asked me to buy some milk.
To buy. After the
To buy.
we use
Sorry, infinitive. To
yes.
some milk.
Could you please open the window? This is a request or an order?
A request.
A request. So she asked
me to open the window.
very good, to open the window.
She asked me to bring the book that night.
Very good, that's nice.
She asked me to help
Him or her. In this case, her. Sorry, he asked
Her.
me to help her.
her with her homework.
She asked me to bring her a cup of coffee.
Very good.
She asked me to pass the soap.
The salt. Very good.
She asked me to lend her a pencil.
Very good. I was wondering if you could possibly. Okay, this is very, very polite and formal and indirect, right? I was wondering if you could possibly. Yes.
She asked me if I could tell her
The time.
time.
Okay, she used a very, very polite way to ask for something, just to ask for the time. I mean, you use this maybe if you are going to ask for a really big favor, but for time, I mean, why are you are going to do this very formal way? Are you talking to the Queen of England or what? Right now. So I was wondering if you could possibly tell me the time. But yes, don't worry, relax. I can. Yes. Do your homework.
Yeah, it's a order.
It's
So, she told me to do my homework.
Very good.
She told me to go to bed.
She told me, don't be late.
She told me, remember
She
the
told
negative?
me not to be late.
Not to be late. Not to be late. Very good.
She told me not to smoke.
Not to smoke. Very good.
She told me to tidy my room.
Tidy my
To
room.
tidy my room.
She told me to wait there.
Wait there. Very good.
She told me to not do that.
Not to. Not to.
Not to do
Very
that.
good. Not to. Remember that it's not first and then to.
To.
She told me to eat my dinner.
Eat my dinner.
She told me to not
Not
make a mess.
Not to.
No, she told me not to, or she
Yes.
told me to not to.
No, she told me not to.
Okay,
Remember first not and then to.
okay. She told me not to make a mess.
Very good. The
Ah, there
negative
is makes
not.
sense. Yes. It's easy to say it. Yes.
She told me to wash up.
The washing up.
The
Good.
washing up.
Very good. Excellent. Guys, I think you are okay with this.
Yes.
Yeah, very good. And now I wanted to talk about well, I don't think we have time for the video, or maybe yes. Let me stop recording.